Hey guys, and welcome back to Heavy Metal and You by Christopher Krovatin. We are on chapter 3 here. Hallowed be thy name. Play. Her phone rang a third time, and I prayed for the machine. Hello? Shit. Hey, Melissa? Mm-hmm. It's Sam. Sam? Sammy Marcus from the play? We went on that date. Oh, Sammy! Hey, sorry, don't worry. I know who you are. So, I was thinking that maybe... Do you believe in Santa, Sam? Sorry? Santa Claus? Do you believe in him? Oh my fucking god. The little voice went off in the back of my mind. This was the deciding question. I had to figure out what the perfect answer to this question would be. If I said I didn't believe in Santa, she'd think I didn't have enough of the ethereal in me, that I wasn't magical enough. If I said I did, I'd obviously be lying. That might not seem too good either. I had to think up an answer that encompassed both and let in my personality, while at the same time was witty or ironic or whatever. The point was that this was hardly the time to screw up. Santa Claus. Christ, but that was a good one. I finally chose, honestly. I'd like to, I said. She laughed. Good answer. I wiped the invisible cartoon sweat beads from my forehead. Round one down. Calm down, old chap, you'll be fine. And how are you doing, my dear? I'm doing just fine. What are you listening to? I glanced back at my stereo. Right now I'm listening to Emperor. Emperor? Emperor. Tell me about this Emperor. That took me off guard. Sorry? I want to know about Emperor. I've never heard of them. My mouth hung open. You actually want me to talk about heavy metal? Yep, she chirped. Very well, I said. But you asked for it. Oh boy. I took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and began. Emperor is a Norwegian black metal band, probably one of the most famous, if not the most widely acclaimed. They formed during the Norwegian black metal boom, a period in the late 80s and early 90s in Norway when a new band of satanic, melodic, and emotional dark metal was springing up from the followers and listening of old-school metal bands such as Venom, Celtic Frost, and Bathory. Emperor was part of the main roster of bands in Norway at the time, along with Mayhem, Burzum, and Darkthrone. They were implicated in some of the highly publicized church burnings and disappearances that occurred during this time period, and lost their drummer, Bard Ethium, when he killed a gay man one night in a park, which, by the way, is really fucking uncool. Great band or not, Emperor's music became famous because of their knack for mixing the horribly brutal and strangely beautiful. The album I'm listening to is Anthems to Walk In at Dusk. It is considered by most to be their pinnacle work, while I think the album following it, Equilibrium 9, is much better. There was a silence. Not a pause. A silence. I could hear a cricket somewhere, and even the dusty rolling sound of a tumbleweed. Whatever she said next would show whether I was in her eyes knowledgeable in my field, or a total fucking dork. That is, of course, if she was going to speak at all. Any day now, Melissa. Oh boy. A dork. I'm a— Damn, boy! My ears perked up like the sound of a dog who'd just been told his food's ready, or a guy with a mullet who hears the first chords of Iron Maiden's Run to the Hills. That was amazing, she said. You just gave me a Rolling Stone profile in 30 seconds. Where were you reading that from? I laughed nervously. Wasn't. Just off the top of my head. That is so cool, she said. That you're so passionate about something, especially music, and you know that much about it. God, can you do that for every band you listen to? Most of them. I'm so impressed. Really? Really. A pause this time. Sammy Marcus, you are to make me a mix. I am? You are. Never felt felt better in rock and roll hands than yours. I mean, if you can do this on the spot for one band, imagine what you could do with some time and a blank CD. Don't make it all growly and hard music, but I definitely expect some, okay? I grinned. Mix. Mix, mix, mix. Certainly, madam. Good. I could feel her smiling through the phone. Now, if I heard you correctly, you were trying to arrange a second date with me when you called. Oh yeah, I said. So Saturday night I've promised my friends I'd hang out with them, but maybe I could see you during the day? Splendid, she said. I'm thinking we could maybe lie around on my bed for a while, for the whole afternoon, listening to music, talking about life, and occasionally making out. What I wanted to say, sounds delicious, sweetums. What I did say, Good, she whispered. Anyway, I should be getting back to my homework. But I'll see you then? Yep. Yep, yep, yep. She cackled. Bye, Sammy. Yep. The phone clicked in my ear. I carefully placed it in its cradle and strolled over to the center of my room. And you know what I did there? Do you? Well, you're damn right I danced! And that's the end of the chapter. It's really short, so let me just... I forget. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 4, too. These are a couple of really short chapters, so I'll just put them together. Chapter 4, Procreation of the Wicked. Fast forward. I flipped open my case logic and started fingering my way through the plastic pocketed pages. Everything I needed was at my fingertips. Okay, time to go. Pause. Making a mix was something I loved, an activity I enjoyed more than most others. There's something about putting together a collection of music for someone that made me completely at ease with the world. Focusing all your thoughts and feelings about a single human being into a group of songs is a strangely cathartic experience. And of course there's the feeling you get later when that special someone walks up to you and tells you they like some of the music that you chose for them. Just a blast. The definition of a natural high. There are certain rules that apply to mixes, of course. Always start them off well. The first couple of songs are incredibly important. I personally preferred starting with a catchy, fun, sometimes softer track, something to draw the listener in. I put a harder, more energetic song as the second track to really get out some of the meat of the mix. Always go out with a bang, too. Maybe not a hard song, but a powerful one should always close your mix. There are a few other rules usually only applying to anal retentive mix makers, such as myself. I cannot make a mix with a sketchy or semi-decent track for track 6 or 9. I don't know why. They just seem like important track numbers. How did I know all this? Simple. I had a lot of time, a lot of friends, and a lot of music. Therefore, I made a lot of mixes. Play. Now it was time for Melissa's mix. I started off with some soft rock. 1. Tori Amos, Sirens. And followed it up with a little catchy hardcore. 2. Blood for Blood, Ace of Spades. Now more metal. I skipped over all my death metal, too growly and whatnot for a newbie, but grabbed a couple thrash discs for here and there. 3. Soil work, As We Speak. Next, something nice and poppy, something to chill the listener out after listening to so much anger. 4. Weezer, no one else. But then another splash of hard rock to bring back the general feel of the mix. 5. System of a Down, Chop Suey. I grabbed some black metal to throw in, a little unholy Satan rock with a lot of keyboard, and was always a plus when it came to music for the ladies. 6. Cradle of Filth, Her Ghost in the Fog. Back to the punk, making sure not to scare off the target audience with the harder stuff. 7. Green Day, One for the Razorbacks. And some love-themed industrial. 8. Stabbing Westward, What Do I Have to Do? Track 9. Crap. What to put for track 9? Who to put for track 9? Gotta make it romantic, gotta make it alluring, I got it. A little emo never hurt when it comes to romance, even when you feel like it's like a tool for listening to it. Slapped it in and moved on. 9. Saves the Day, Hold. back to the anchor, but with a nice beat behind it. 10. Prong, snap your fingers, snap your neck. Top that off with some folky goth. 11. Marilyn Manson, Lamb of God. After that, some more black metal. 12. Borknagar, The Genuine Pulse, and a little more thrash. 13. Testament, Nightmare Coming Back to You. Flipping that with an energetic punk cover. 14. Pennywise, Stand By Me. And followed up on some female metal empowerment a la Nancy Sinatra. 15. Megadeth, These Boots. After that, I hit it with a little punk with a personal message just for my own sake. 16. The Mr. T Experience. Thank you for not being one of them. The next track was Slayer. I always tried to find some place for Slayer on my mixes, simply because Slayer was my favorite metal band, and perhaps the greatest metal band in the world. They had the most energetic, angry, deep-seated, gut-searing, heart-grasping, head-banging songs in the world, and they made every one of them as catchy as the flu. Simply put, I spent most of my adolescence listening to Slayer, and I felt that it helped make me into the person I was. Without Tom, Araya, Kerry King, Jeff Hanneman, Dave Lombardo, and Paul Bosta, every bit of anger, angst, and rage in me would never have gotten out. Slayer saved my life. Period. Therefore, I threw some darker, more melodic Slayer in for the second-to-last track, something that was genuinely Slayer, but was still enjoyable to a metal newbie. 14. Slayer, Mandatory Suicide. Now to finish the sucker off. I needed a love song, but a rock song. A sad song, but a song that inspired a certain atmosphere of romance. A song to start out a relationship to. I promptly hailed myself for being the man. 18. The Smashing Pumpkins. Stand Inside Your Love. I pushed the CDs into my laptop one after the other, letting them scan and finally burn. As this went on, I printed out a track list and cut it out for the casing, using the crappy lining that came with the blank disc as my guide. Mixes had been my arts and crafts project for the last couple of years. There was nothing fleeting or half-assed in a mix when I made it. Everything had to be perfect. Next came the cover, which was possibly the best part of making the whole mix. I had always themed my various mixes with continuing ideas, the alphabet, shapes, animals, and so on. Right now, I was on tarot. I had gone through a great deal of them already, drawing the stiff-figured, archaic tarot drawings in my own cartoonish dark fashion. So what to make Melissa? What tarot card did she deserve? I thought about her, about how she made me feel, about how much time I'd spent in the last 2 days just sitting at my desk and daydreaming about the feeling of her eyelashes when they brushed my cheek. A blinding flash of dreamy boredom flew back to me. I did a bleak sketch of the world and slid it into plastic on top of the CD. I wrote Alpha Omega with a Sharpie marker and popped the disc into the black casing. There. Done. CD burned and labeled, cover drawn, track list written. I glanced at the clock, 10:36 p.m. She lived on the Upper East Side, 86th Street, cab right away. I had school tomorrow. I could easily just call her to give it to her some other time. It'd be no big deal. Go to bed, get some sleep. I had my overcoat on in 2 minutes and was out the door in 7. And that's the end of chapter 4. I'm not going to get into chapter 5. It is also short. Most of them are. But I think that's about all the time we got right now. I hope you liked the last couple of chapters. It's nice to sneak 2 in there. That was cool. And I, hope you're having a good one. Bye!